Welcome back. I'm Larry from Grace Healing, and I just I just did a video for you guys, and I forgot to connect audio to it. So I'm going to redo this thing and see if I can get it right this time. And this is a message on the Zodiacs. And I know that many of my Christian brothers and sisters and other friends that are on spiritual journeys, some shy away, some delve directly in, some rely upon every breath of their day based upon their zodiac view. And I just wanted to kind of delve into this a little bit to kind of give a little bit of an insight of how we can receive all things in blessing. If you've seen some of the other videos, you've seen where I've talked about how Yeshua taught us to receive all things in blessing. And again, that term all came from the language that he spoke when it was like a capital A, capital L, capital L to receive all things in blessing. So the other concern is that much of what we've been warned about is not to use tools of divination to gain insight, because that taps into a spiritual expression, meaning you can be diverted by those things of a spiritual nature that can sound in good stead, or they can seem like it's right standing, and you end up moving in that direction. And before you know it, you're standing in darkness in a way that you look back towards the light and you can't recognize or look into the light clearly anymore because you've been so diverted into this process of justification, 1 degree at a time, moving further and further away from center. So I want to come back to the importance of understanding how to receive all these things in blessing. So we can't deny the fact that there are universal impacts upon each person at different stages, cosmic influences, different things are unfolding. And it's actually kind of comical when you hear people describe the nature of a certain person's behavior based upon their sign, and you're like, oh my God, that's exactly them. Um, and a lot of them do it in kind of a glamorous and fun tone, or a mystical way to show their power over others, to speak to the nature of their behaviors or the person that's wronging them. Well, what are they? Are they an Aries, or are they a Taurus? And they start to gain hold of the individual seeking understanding by showing wonder in how much they knew about the person just because of their sign. And what I would like to do is help you turn this into an instrument to help you in your ascension process, to move you up into a greater awareness and a greater understanding of how to utilize what is revealed within these constructs to transform and transmute yourself. So I'm not sure if everybody's aware of this, but in the Zodiac process, there's both good attributes and negative attributes. And I would say that if you're finding a teaching or an instruction within that is pointing you toward the good attributes, good on you. Keep going for it. Elevate the good attributes. Continue to reflect God within you as the higher state of your being. In that place of integrity, holy purity, not to manipulate or move people through impurity or lust, but to move people into a place of higher state of being. Fantastic. However, there are also things within zodiac expressions that prognosticate or point toward the future of what's going to happen. And that is where the lies reside. That is where the deceptions can lay hold. In addition to that, there are the negative attributes. And they're not there to subject people to that process. So, for instance, like if you have a person who's a Pisces, they're known to be timid, gullible, codependent. So if we're going to receive that in blessing, so if the person is a Pisces, they could look at this and say timidity could be offset by spiritual fortitude. So Yahweh, I thank you to know that your holy fortitude rises within me. I embrace the fortitude of your spirit, and I move with strength and conviction. Gullibility. I found in the past that I can be very gullible to people's comments and statements and stuff. So I need to heighten through discernment to be aware of what I'm listening to witness when it shifts from a place of truth to deception, even in fun, to be able to see through those things. Codependence. Am I relying upon a person in suffering to gain my definition of self? Am I needing somebody in brokenness in order to be seen as somebody who can fix people? Or am I honestly moving in such a way that I am searching through holy compassion to serve all people that come before me as God, not as self, not under my own power? If we go further, there's others. And I know that some of you may be aware of these, but when you hear somebody that's a Leo, the people that work within this realm of zodiac instruction would describe them as arrogant, impatient, and easily angered. Um, in my family of 12 kids, there's people in multitudes of different signs, and it's amazing how you can see these traces and attributes rise within their behavior. So if a person is arrogant, as a Leo, you could pray for yourself to be increased through humility. If you witness in anybody else arrogance, take no offense to it. Don't form hatred towards them or disdain. Honestly pray and earnestly pray for them to be increased in humility. If they happen to show impatience with others or impatience with a situation, as a Leo, it's one of the characteristics that they name as a common characteristic for them in the negative side. We would pray for increased patience. If they are moving in a state where they're um, heightened or easily angered, that would fall under the ground as well. Patience. We would pray for increased clarity and discernment. And then we might even shift to somebody that um, that may be a Virgo, that is incredibly judgmental, critical, or controlling. So we would pray for them to be freed from the spirit of judgment and move through holy enlightenment, to elevate them to a higher understanding, to be able to observe and witness things without forming judgment over those that are walking in less state than them, or being in self-judgment or self-condemnation of themselves, or a critical spirit. Usually the greatest critic in them is themselves. They are criticizing themselves to the point where they become stagnant or paralyzed in not being able to move. So basically, what I'm trying to help you see is that if somebody has named you a certain zodiac sign and they bring you these warnings that you are such and such, don't get distressed about them. Look into them and recognize that you can choose to center on the kingdom of God that is God's presence within you. And say, okay, the information that this person provides does not define me. Yahweh, God, a creator, defines me. However, my human vessel emerged onto this planet during this time cycle, this timeline that aligns with, say, Aries, who has a tendency to be stubborn or unpredictable or immature. We would allow for ourselves not to be defined by that, but what this is doing, it is pointing out the nature of what our physical form has a propensity to move towards. So if we were born in that timeline that aligns with Aquarius being rebellious or impulsive or cold, um, it's just a sign to say that, okay, this is something that we need to be vigilant about within ourselves to find God's presence. And instead of being cold, being warm and caring, compassionate and understanding, with a conscious and a willful choice to choose God within that place, not how the cosmos or other impacts of this earth or different alignments of time and stuff, not how they may have formed this physical vessel. I am spirit first, choosing God to evidence within my body. I am not governed and owned by my body, and I am not defined by the nature of what's within my soul. I am defined by God and spirit, manifesting as life within my body, so that all might know of glory through my existence. And this comes back to another instruction that Yeshua gave us when he said, live not of the flesh, set aside desires of the body, live as a spirit, so that the glory would be known through you. So again, if I'm choosing to be defined by God in spirit, the flesh being, we shared this before in other videos, the flesh in that term was describing the soul or the connecting point from spirit unto body. So if these attributes that have established themselves within this vessel human, as it left its spirit state, passed through the veil of the order of principalities, and emerged as a human form in physical form, we as that sign show a propensity towards these behaviors, which requires us to be more vigilant to not live of the flesh, meaning the place that brought forth rebellious nature or an impulsive nature or a cold state of being. We relinquish these things and choose God within its place. In that, we allow for our bodies to evidence a compassionate, loving, clear, and forthright mind. Then others would witness divine glory through the presence of our existence upon this earth. This is how simple it can be. You can take this same instruction and apply it to every instruction of mankind. If you would become vigilant upon the things that it reveals to you and receive all things in blessing, even if your spouse gets angry or upset with you, take no offense. Look within and say, what is it that he or she is showing me? What is it that she's defining by the nature of how she's been harmed or hurt? What is it that he's defining by the nature of how he's been neglected or disassociated? What is he showing me? And how can I be vigilant to make sure it's not instigated by me? And if it isn't instigated by me, how can I be more vigilant to speak words of life into this situation that my partner is having great difficulty with? So again, don't take offense to it, but look at this all as a way to position us in a place of power through loving authority instead of subjection, thinking, oh, I'm a Taurus. I'm supposed to be shy. I'm supposed to be lazy and materialistic. I disagree. That's just showing you what you could be vigilant about in recognizing that no, my body and soul may evidence these things, but my spirit is defined by God. And in definition of God, I am none of these things. I am forthright and outgoing. I'm impelled from within to meet the expectations within my life. I'm attached to the higher things within my experience, not just the material things of the earth. So again, you just choose to become hypervigilant on these things and allow for your blessed attributes that are described within that sign to be a giving to others, an offering in the way you present yourself. You present yourself from the higher state and you refine the lesser things to be a higher state and you go forth and live life, which again, you would now no longer be living by the flesh, the soul. You would be living of the spirit so that your body would evidence blessing and glory unto others. And people would have this beautiful experience and encounter of discovering God in your presence. Not by being Mr. Arrogant, but by exhibiting humility in its place. So I hope this helps. And I'm trusting that this time it came through. And feel free to check us out on gracehealing.org or the YouTube channel, which you may have found us at gracehealing.video. Or you may be listening to us today on Grace Healing Community on the Facebook program. and we occasionally boost things and stuff like that. But please check in, and we look forward to hearing from you. And I think we're up to close to 400 episodes or something for you to learn, and just immerse yourself in the process of how is it that life can position me in power instead of subjection, and then remain accountable to the fact that the reality is is within you. God is perfect within you. He has made residence within you. Her wisdom is available for you to gain. It's not hidden on the top of a mountain in Tibet. It's not hidden in the words of some mystic. It's not hidden in some video that you have to find someplace. It is present within you. Challenges, especially in America, our lifestyle does not permit people the habitual awareness of God first and allowing for those places of peace and centeredness upon God to dictate the nature of how they respond to situations. And we become reactionary. We react instead of respond. And it just requires the importance and recognition of all that Yeshua accomplished for us in connecting us directly under God's presence. So we are spirit connected to our bodies through soul. And this is the place that we need to purify and release all these lesser things. We need to celebrate the higher things and make known divine glory through all we are. So have a great week and blessings to you all as we approach this new year. And may you find abundance in every aspect of your life. And I don't just mean the physicality, but I do include the physicality. May you be blessed in financial abundance, all manners of provision, but also blessed in abundance of the holy attributes that reside within you. So have a blessing, take care, and reach back to us anytime you find yourself in need. Take care and be blessed.